YouTubers. Back. I have another text here from Melissa Kemper. The process of healing to self back into wholeness and returning to our natural state of being must be one's priority in every moment if they desire to exit the overlay. I'm gonna repeat that. The process of healing the self back into wholeness. The self back into wholeness. And returning to our natural state of being must be the one's priority in every moment if they desire to exit the overlay, thus freeing man and bringing this nightmare to an end. Isn't it all what we want, to bring this nightmare to an end? YouTubers, people, wonderful people. One must realize the copiness of the overlay, with all of its temptations toward fleeting moments of pleasure and convenient distractions that keep one in a victim mentality and from ever stepping into full responsibility for what they have created. There is not one part of our experience, our reality, that we did not create. How can that be? Some may ask. The answer to that question is key to understanding why reality is in such a state of chaos. Our bodies are the technology which create upon the blank canvas of experience. When we are all as designed, that which is brought forth is in resonance with nature, in resonance with nature, blossoming out of a field of unconditional love and limitlessness. However, this is not the world many are experiencing right now. The world is full of layer upon layer of fear, expressing its multiple fractals as deceit, harm, evil, sacrificial killing, abuse, trauma, etc. How can this be if we, these amazing beings of unconditional love and kindness, are the creators? How can this be? Our bodies have been hijacked and manipulated by an energy that is not like us. It knows exactly how we function and what needs to be done in order to confiscate our gift of manifestation for its own agenda of self-preservation. See, this energy cannot create like we do because it is cut off from the source, cut off from source. And for it to survive, it must create hosts that unconsciously create the world it needs in order to stay in existence, eventually transforming the man into a robot and releasing the conscious spirit from it, losing every quality that defined the man as man. How does the hijacking transpire? Trauma. We are traumatized from the moment we embody. Then, through the manipulation of the birthing process and all of the poison injected into mother and child, only to continue this pattern of toxicity throughout life? Be it via other vaccines and or medications, poison, fake food, and water, schooling system, electrosmog frequency, wars, inundation of visual trauma and drama via media, physical and mental abuse, etc. We are attacked on the physical level to create the dissociation from self and split personalities on the mental level. Once this split occurs, we are no longer whole or fully conscious, allowing the external world to be that which directs us via reacting rather than allowing the wisdom from within to flow freely via responding. This is where the distraction come in, purposely labeled as society. Everything you consider the real world to be is a distraction. Everything. Politics, sports, actors, athletes, gurus, schooling, and all of its facade of subjects. Employment, careers, money, industry, technology, governments, wars, taxes, healthcare, television, movies, music, and the list goes on and on and on. And the list goes on and on and on and on. There are layers to the layers, so that if by some crazy chance you come back up out of the rabbit hole, there is another waiting right there to welcome you into its clutches of falsehood. Many can feel this friction between who we really are and what we are being presented as our truth. So why the distractions? This energy needs time to be able to transform us. This process is a slow and steady takeover of the organic being, shutting down one's immense ability to feel, creating apathy and splitting the self, creating confusion and chaos. The physical state of the being is that of war from the body attacking itself due to being poisoned. The mental state is confusion, as within the same breath one can ping-pong back and forth between various programs, thus feeling overwhelmed, thus creating the reality we are experiencing. All the while, the spirit is slowly dimming as transhumanism completes its process. I also feel they are attempting to duplicate our body technology so we become obsolete in the process. This is how powerful we are. Though many can feel this within, they are complacent because they have the conveniences of life, that bring a momentary break from the pain, using our senses against our sense, to use Arthur's word. And once that moment has passed, the game ended. Plate is empty, glass is empty, etc. There is the next distraction, next show or event, next plate or glass fill, and on and on. Never withdrawing from the illusion long enough to empty out, stop consuming in any manner, and get a clear perspective on what is occurring. Like a fish in water, who did not realize he was in water until he jumped out of it and looked down. It was only then that he saw what he had been swimming in. This is why many who can see what is being expressed here were able to do so only after taking a break from society, usually through some type of a leave of absence. Even if this phase, as I type it, look at the words, we have been led to believe that phrase means taking a break from what requires our presence. But if you read the words, you are taking a break from being absent, not present. Exactly, society is absent of presence. So now what I have from society is a break to be present. Exactly, that's what I said. We must become self-sufficient, self-reliant. Hold on, societies, then it is that space of not blindly running on the hamster wheel that we begin to observe the innocent craziness of others around us, and the puzzle pieces begin to connect. Then begins the deconstruction of the overlay. We must be willing to withdraw from every aspect of the illusion, no matter how temporarily uncomfortable, in order to restore wholeness and organic reality. This means a huge overhaul in how many have come to live, being dependent on the overlay to support them in their existence. We must become self-sufficient, self-reliant, self-sustaining, etc. We must grow our own food until the body is restored and no longer requires it. Source our own water, create our own shelter, gather in community, and allow this process to heal us. As we do so, the body will be creating consciously in alignment with self, and will be accessing the awesome technology that we inherently are, creating everything needed in perfect timing, as lack is a false construct. We will realize that what was once presented as cutting-edge technology from the overlay was just a bastardized version of our own amazing selves. May you remember who you are, reconnect your will, which is stronger than their desire to break it, and step fully into the power and awesomeness that is you. Our momentum is gaining. Our numbers are growing. Will you join us?